time management. How many of us have problem with time management?
Me.
You.
Eh,
Okay. Okay. You are the only one, Abi. Come and see me in my office. Thank you.
no problem, no problem,
Me too, me too, me too.
no problem. That's the
Okay.
way.
Ah, the greeter say me too.
Yes, sir.
No,
Ah, sure you two can come to my office.
And I can come to your office.
Okay. So time management. For some time now, my own concept has been that it's actually kind of impossible to manage time. So truly, if you cannot manage time, then there is almost nothing like time management. Is Blessing still on this call, please?
no.
Ah, okay. When you manage something, you should have some characteristics before you can say you manage it. So it has limits. It can be it can be reduced, increased, produced, maybe multiplied sometimes, can be saved, reserved, kept, it can be wasted, it can be invested, then it should have a beginning, it should have a end, kind of a thing. Some of these some of these major characteristics you don't find with time. You can't create time, you can't save time, you can't necessarily multiply time. It cannot be recovered when it's gone. I mean, literally saying. And then, like some popular and bigger people ahead of me would like to say that the best you can do is to actually manage yourself in time. I mean, you can manage your food, you can manage your money because you can always make more money. You cannot make more time. Everybody has 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and once it's gone, it's gone. You cannot live yesterday twice. Today will not come tomorrow. That kind of a thing. Because of that, the best you can actually do is to manage yourself in time. And there are just key factors to consider when you manage yourself in time. Why? Is because you are the only one under your own control as far as time is concerned. Time is not under your control. There's no amount of work you do yesterday. When you get to today, you still have 24 hours. And there's no amount of rest you have yesterday. When you get to today, you still have 24 hours. So you don't get 27 hours because you did not use the whole of 24 hours of yesterday. And you don't get 17 hours tomorrow because you work so much today that looks like we have used 5 hours out of yesterday or so. What then are we supposed to focus our attention on? It is how to manage ourselves in time. Simply saying, we have to plan ourselves. You cannot control the number of people that will call you. You can control the number of people you answer their call. You cannot control how many hours, how fast the time of the day will run. But you can control the things you do within those hours of the day. In managing yourself then, is you planning ahead. And one of the things I do, I think I and David City already talked about that some time ago. It's planning your day a day before. Or the least you can do is as you wake up, plan that day. So if it's not an emergency that's important, you can let it slide. If it's not important and an emergency, you can let it go. That is, that thing needs to be done now, and it is crucial to something you want to do, you want to achieve. Say somebody suddenly calls and is asking for quotation for solar installation. Irrespective of what you have planned for that day, it only makes sense that you write that quotation and send to that person. Why? Is because it is urgent and it is important. Maybe not to that person, but to you. Irrespective of what I plan for the day, if you ask me to bring a bill for bore drilling, plumbing works, I do that fast. Irrespective of what I've planned for the day, I consider what's important and an emergency. I'm saying this outside of what you've planned, because after planning everything you've planned, certain things may happen that will come and will be bearing those characteristics. Those are the things you do first. And so before we go further, let's just talk about what you need to do in your planning. What are the things you want to do in a day? Usually the way I write my own here, almost every other day. Let me see if I have an example I can give you. Okay, this is one now. I said for 13th of September 2024, finish the article and publish. I said that because there was an article I was writing that I've not finished at that point. So I said on that day, in fact, this was written on the 12th of September, but the date was 13th. That was what I wanted to do on the 13th. I said finish the article and publish. Number 2, finish one supporting information and submit the application. 3, make a LinkedIn post. And those are the 3 major things I plan for that day. You can take it further to help yourself. Allocate time to it. Finish the article and publish 45 minutes. Of course, the time I'm supposed to allocate will depend on the level the article is. If I'm just starting from scratch, maybe it will take me 2, 3, 4 hours. At least that's on my schedule for the day. I'm saying this in essence that if you cannot manage time, you can manage yourself in time. And the only way to manage yourself in time is to control or determine the things you get yourself engaged with in that time. This is not just about self-management in time also. It talks about your productivity in time. In any day that you plan something out, if you successfully carry out those things that you plan, there's a kind of satisfaction that comes to you, except if that's something that I'm the only one who experiences it. But if you have done something like that and you're able to do it, you know there's a kind of gratification that comes to you that you're kind of satisfied with what you have done with that day. Even on days where you don't make money, on days where it's not something that almost everybody will expect you to do. But because you've planned as what you want to do and you're able to do it successfully, you're just happy. It does not just help you to manage yourself in time, it helps you to measure your own productivity. There are times that what's on my table or what's on my plan for the day is okay. For instance, on the 29th of September, what I put there was data science content creation. Number two, okay, still under content creation, why you should embrace the power of storytelling. And I put details of the things I want to do under it. There are times I just say, make 2 applications today, make 3 applications today. And that's what I just do. If I want to put it in simple words without saying so much, without going to these are the 7 things you need to do, these are the 10 things you need to do, these are the 15 things you need to do. The simple way to just say it, plan yourself ahead. Okay, so let's go to certain myths that you have to debunk in managing yourself in time. This actually took me some time to realize because I'm very high on productivity, doing it so
On
much.
drugs.
I don't know what you're talking about. That your gun, are you go use that for yourself last? Yeah. Very high on productivity, do it so much, do it so well, do it every time, don't allow sleep to take your time, push yourself again and again. But there's one thing I've discovered is it doesn't always work like that. And it doesn't have to be. If you plan yourself for 3 things you're supposed to do that day, the reason those things come to your mind when you are planning your day ahead is because those are the most important thing to you at that point in time. Truth be told, those are the basic things that are very important to you, to the next level you are planning, to the next event you want to take, to the next big thing you want to do. Those are the most important to you, and that's why they came to you. That's why they were having in your mind that you have to put it down that this and this and these are the things I want to do. For instance, you're serving, you're like, today, what's today's day? 7th. Say you are today now you are planning for tomorrow, 8th of October. go to PPA, say 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. You know that leaving your PPA, coming back will take you some 30, 40 minutes, if not 1 hour. You factor that in. And then, now that you are home, what are you supposed to do? Take online courses, 45 minutes. Or you put 12 noon to 1 p.m. You have done that. The next thing you want to do on your agenda is look for updates, play trading league, uh, reach out to somebody, talk, discuss business with this person, stuff like that. You put them, you write them down, and put time frame and allot time to it. What I do most of the time, and it has been helpful, is when I'm in front of my screen, I can be lost many times. Anytime I notice such derailment or distraction, I just go back to my notes, check what I've done versus what I have to do. Once I check, I know what I've done, the next thing I'm supposed to do, and I pick it up from there. Number one thing to do in your self-management is to plan ahead. This is always the first step. And this goes beyond just also managing yourself in time, because it leads to many other things that nobody will tell you, that you won't just automatically discover until you begin to do certain things without stress. It goes into what they call self-control, self-governance, or in some places they call it self-leadership. When you are able to lead yourself to do certain things, you do it according to time allotted, and you do it under pressure, whichever one, and you are still able to deliver top quality of whatever it is you want to do. Sometimes it's on my list. Watch 2 podcasts, watch 1 book review, write 1 application, read 10 pages of a particular book. Many times there are more interesting things to do that will not be on your list. And when I say interesting thing, it does not mean they are necessarily important, necessarily good, or pointing to the direction where you want to go, or helping you to achieve what you want to achieve. But it can just be interesting, like when your mind is kind of heavy and you want to watch some skits, you want to laugh, you get carried away on LinkedIn, get carried away on Facebook, get carried away chatting somebody, and stuff like that. When you plan your day, there is this consciousness, there is a way your mind synchronizes with what you're supposed to do, and from time to time it gives you nudging just to cut it short and let you know that you have not finished what you planned for that day. What I'm saying in essence is, number one thing to do is planning the day ahead. Leave what you cannot control out of the situation. But for those ones that you can control, plan them. Test, wake up in the morning, greet your wife. Hello, sweetheart. Are you okay? Are you fine? Move to your office. Send social application, read about solar installation. What's the latest development in rabbit rearing? What's the newest innovation in graphics design and public speaking? Stuff like that. You plan that one for the day. By the time you have planned that, As you finish one, you know the next thing you want to do. You know the next one you want to do. You know the next one you want to do. As you do it like that, it improves your self-control, your self-leadership, self-governance, and then it makes it easy for you to also lead others. When you get to that point where you now tell people you should probably do something like this, it won't be you just giving a suggestion. You are saying it from the place of strength, a place where you have been. It's important, and that's number one. Plan your day ahead. Where possible, plan it a day before. Where that is impossible, make sure you plan it the first thing you do every day. If you always pray before you start your day, pray, then plan your day. If you don't pray, I encourage you to pray. If you don't pray, the first thing you're supposed to do is to plan your day. I talk to this person today, I reach out to this person today, and stuff like that. What again? Every other thing that you need to do for that day should be planned. After your planning, you are supposed to know you need rest. And this is why I want to debunk some myths. Rest. Rest. I don't know how I have to say that, but sincerely, you need to rest. There are times you just have to stay away from your phone. Sometimes you just have to stay away from that computer. Sometimes you just have to think about nothing. Sometimes you just have to leave what you are doing, watch that movie, watch that skit, do something that relieves you of stress, that takes your mind off work. You have to do that. Yeah, you have to do that because it can easily drives you into boredom, into having a raw face. And what I mean by that is, carry joy, just there, moody, engrossed in your work, right? So from time to time, if it takes 5 minutes, if it takes 10 minutes, or if you work a period of time successfully and then you decide to take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, even up to 1 hour sometime, just do nothing. If you have to just lie down, you have to see comedy, if you have to watch a movie, whatever it is, but just from time to time, take time to re-energize, to recharge. Yeah, that's that under the myth because you do not always go as you plan. You do not always go as you plan. On the days that you plan to do 10 things and you're able to do 5 things successfully, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. I'm doing that to let us know that when it comes to time, you cannot manage it. You can manage yourself in time. And one and most important thing to do is plan yourself. Take time to rest. And the third thing I think I will talk about that is to cut out distractions. And when I say distractions, some of them are going to be legitimate. Some are going to be legitimate. Any visitor that you did not plan for, that did not tell you ahead of time, and they suddenly say they are coming, it can be a distraction. I'm not saying you should not be hospitable and be accommodating. But it's like saying I'm in Oshogbo now, and I not tell Blessing, not tell David that I'm in Oshogbo, and then, or let's even say they know I'm in Oshogbo, for instance. Let's say that's where I live, and I just show up your front door. Yeah, Alpha, I come to spend 2 days with you, undiscussed, unannounced. Why that may be, why you may feel harsh to send me back, but sometimes it might just be the wisest thing you have to do at that point in time, because those things they look like good time that you share with friends and enemies and stuff like that, but they are really the things that eat away your time. Because the time you used to settle me in, to tell me where to go, where not to go, things to touch, things not to touch, and stuff like that, maybe you would have done one design halfway. Maybe it would be a time for you to get an idea that you've been thinking of for some time and stuff like that. For instance, even when I'm not doing anything, if you are coming to me, if you want me to do anything for you, I still like that it is said ahead of time. Even when I don't have anything against it. Even when you know there is room there, you can do. Besides, I'm not disturbing him. I won't be disturbing him. Stuff like that. Still say it. I can tell you, okay, good. I can tell you, give me some time. I can tell you, come back. Why don't we do it this time? Even if I will tell you, okay, become it, there's no problem. It still makes sense that you ask or that you tell me ahead of time. And I'm not just talking about myself, I'm talking about what you should be doing. Because that way you're able to cut short irrelevant stuff. When you listen to people like Brian Tracy and you tell them you want to say you want to get better at doing something, you want to make $1 million and stuff like that, and they will tell you, write 10 things down that can get you to that place you are going, and then start doing any of those 10 things that drive you to your goal faster, starting from that day onwards. And they will tell you anything that does not contribute the things that you have listed, that will not lead you to that your goal, make sure you avoid it. That is, if your goal is to talk to Tony Elumelu, for instance, any call that you are making that will not be getting you closer to talking to Tony Elumelu, it won't be making sense involving yourself in it. If your plan is to make $1 million, it means any business, any engagement you have that is not leading you, that is not getting you closer day by day to making that $1 million is not a wise move. Stuff like that. So there is need to intentionally remove distractions. Intentionally, like you do it intentionally, removing every distraction. Sometimes you have to be harsh on people. Sometimes they will not understand you. But of anything in this life, you know that your time is one thing that you cannot say, I will get another. If you have money, your money goes, you can still make another money. Your girlfriend leave you, you can still have another girlfriend. If you have car, it got spoiled, you can always get another car. But to say you get another 24 hours for the 24 hours that is gone, no. Have you seen anybody that is supposed to be 60 years old, but because he has wasted 10 years of his life, they now say no, he's 50 years old. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. It's one thing that you cannot recover or that you cannot always get back. And that's why you have to guard it jealously. So when you talk of time management or self-management in time, it has to be done intentionally. Just the way you put all kind of security on your assets, on your cryptos, on your bank account, your vault, on those documents that's important to you. That's the way you are supposed to guide and guard your time also. If you are not helping me get better, why should we meet? If you are not moving me close and closer to my goal, why should we why should we keep talking? There is a girl, I got her number recently. We've been talking, how far are you doing, stuff like that. So I think yesterday or so, she was asking that she know she was asking why did I take her number? So, why not? I mean, that's what we do almost every day. In business world, you connect with everybody, you keep as much contact as you can keep because you don't know who can help you tomorrow, you don't know who you can help tomorrow, you don't know who is holding your next big deal, you don't know who's going to recommend you for this and that. He said the reason he asked is because she noticed that we don't talk. We don't say anything serious. So why did I take her number? I said, well, until there is need for you, I mean, there's no reason for us to talk. You don't expect me to take your number, and because I take your number, you're expecting, hey, how are you? Good afternoon. Have you eaten? Have you wee? Did you poo poo? Stuff like that. No. When there is business to discuss, we will discuss it. When you check, when you see my advert, you know what I do. When I see your advert, I know what you do. When I see you holding something that I need, I'll reach out to you. When you see me holding something you need, reach out to me. I say in business, that's called networking because she's studying entrepreneurial studies. I say, that's called networking, and you of all people should know this. Say yes. You network with people and that you have people's contact, have access to people does not mean you have to reach out to them. If there's no need for them, why reach out in the first place? It's like you staying on a call for 10, 15 hours with somebody who is not making your business grow, who is not sharing any idea with you, who is not helping you become anything. And you are spending major part of your life discussing with that person. That's a waste of irrecoverable resources. And that's one thing you don't want to do with your time. So plan ahead, take your time to rest after you have worked, take time to rest and then get back to work. Then intentionally cut off distractions. If it's not helping you become better, if it's not helping you become what you want to become, it's not getting you closer to where you are going, cut it off. Yeah. Let people misunderstand you. In fact, when you start doing well with your time management or self management in time, one of the things you have is a major misunderstanding. People are going to misunderstand. People are going to look at you as arrogant. People are going to look at you as wicked. People are going to define you by different names, and they should not matter. And the reason they should not matter is because nobody will account for your time for you more than you do. As rich as Dangote is, he does not have 24 hours, 30 seconds every day. He has just 24 hours. I was speaking with Bright the other day. I was like, after so much you have done, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that his mate is then, I think he was getting close to 40 or 45 or so then. Or was it around the time he did his 40th birthday or something? I was like, there's so much to do that he cannot just see himself that this is what is in that Obama is almost his age mate because then Obama was the president of US and was about I think was in his early 50 or so, maybe 40 something or early 50. And it was like if Obama can be president at that age, I mean he himself could become something around that. And since he's into business, then he should just as well use that time jealously and judiciously. Like really. Imagine somebody here comparing himself to Obama. And it shows reasons why those guys pay attention to what's important to them. Sorry to say, they really don't pay attention to some of the meetings we have in church. They do what's important to them. They call many times that they are done with whatever they are doing. But I don't know, and I'm not saying that's what they do, but it shows that what help them get better, what improve them, what makes their business go better takes priority. And that's what it should be with us. We want to take that course. Just fucking take it. You want to talk to that person. Just do it. Write that proposal. Just do it. Anything at all. Just do it. Because every time seems that the only time we have is always now. And that's the time that is guaranteed. And that's why you should guard it jealously. When you stay on call with somebody, make sure you are deriving something from it. When you go to an engagement, to a movie, to whatever it is, make sure it's part of your plan to become better at something. And that is also to say you have to be intentional about the things you do. Checking every time to be sure it's adding something to you. Focus on each activity per time. That's another thing I want to say. So after you have planned your days, intentionally cutting out distractions, taking the necessary time to rest. Any time that is allotted to a particular task or project, make sure that's what you focus on. One thing that I'm a victim of is doing something and then quickly remember something about something I want to do. And because I quickly remember, instead of writing it down to go and attend to later, I quickly go there to go and do it. So by the time I do that, and coming back to what I initially planned that I was doing, I'm already distracted, and the time allocated to that thing is already exhausted, and it takes some time before my brain comes back to that task and engage fully and functionally. And there's been a research that says multitasking is actually a myth. The truth is, at every point in time when you focus on a project, all your system is engaged. I mean, your brain, your thoughts, your everything is involved. So when you take your mind off it to do something else, you actually don't get to do that thing immediately because it takes your system some time to actually readjust to this new thing you want to do. And also, by the time you quickly do that thing and you come back to what you were doing before, it also takes some time before your system, your brain, and everything adjust to do this thing. And the problem is not just that adjustment, but the energy that is being used up in your system. And that's why you sit with a computer doing a design, writing that code, making application, talking to somebody, and by the time you're done for the day, you are wondering why you're so tired. Because your brain uses up energy every time you switch between activities, especially for those of us doing mind engaging activities. You want to set up a trade, you know how careful you have to be to set up a trade. And in the middle of setting up that trade, you quickly check one video. Right? Between the time of checking that video and coming back to completing the trade you're setting up, you have been distracted, your body will have to readjust, your brain will have to readjust. In that process, it has to burn some calories. And those are the things that use up our energy. So you need to plan ahead, take time to rest as you work, intentionally cut off distractions, and make sure per time you face whatever you are involved with. One task per time, one task per time, one task per time. That's how you do it. Anything outside of that might just be you distracting yourself and doing what is not necessary. The things that can help you to manage yourself in time, for some of them, set alarm or reminder by 12:30. Your phone will pop up. Do this. At that point, you know that it is time for you to stop whatever you are doing and attend to this. Use timer. Set reminder, use timer. And on your system, you can use the feature called focus. Yeah, it's on almost any system, any recent system these days. You focus where only there will be no pop-up, there will be no message, there will be no notification distracting you. To just allow you to focus on that program that you open per time, and you do it. You can do 1 hour focus, 30-minute focus, depending on how long you want to focus on that activity. So those are the things you can do to help you. So having cut out distractions, those are the things that can aid it, that can help you do it better. Use the focus feature on your system, set reminders, set timers. And one other thing you can actually do to make sure your body adjusts faster and do it better is self-compensation. You do something well, you do it on time, you reward yourself. For staying focused and not being distracted, you reward yourself. And your reward can be as, okay, if I'm able to do this successfully, I'll watch a movie. It can be as little as that. If I do this successfully without distraction, I'll sleep. If I do this successfully without distraction, I'll buy pepper soup for myself, take myself out. Stuff like that. Those are the basic things we can do to help ourselves in doing what's important to us, what we need to do, as at when we're supposed to do it, and doing it properly. I think that's all I have on time management and self-management in time. I hope that is helpful.
Yes, it was. Thank you very much.
Glitters, are you there?
Amen, sir. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. At least we've been able to gain 2 or 4 things. And we are going to, I am going to put them into use.
All right.
Thank you. Please really put it.
Any questions, contributions, additions, subtractions? Is there any of these things I mentioned you have done before that's helpful? You can share with us how helpful it was, how it helped you to do what you need to do, stuff like that.
Yeah, so when I first resumed for now, I was a direct entry student because I did not have friends around and they were doing online classes. The
Uh,
first 4 weeks was just
you will help us and speak up a little more.
okay. How about now?
Okay.
I said when I first resumed to Funab as a direct entry student, I had no one about chemistry, no friends or nothing.
Yep.
And then we're doing online class. So it was tough for me to like attend classes and be focused on stuff until someone just puts me through to like follow a timetable. So whenever I wake up, go to classes, read for an hour, sleep a little bit, go to the second class, so on. So I started following it back to back, back to back. That was what it was that first semester when I was up.
Oh, that's a good one. So these things work, right? So they just function by them. Be doing it. Another person saying something. All right, no question, no addition, no subtraction. I think this will be it today. Yep.
Eshel,
Adúpẹ́.
Thank you very much.
olúkálùkù lọ fún ṣe ọṣẹ rẹ. Adẹ̀kú ti gbé ní ilé
Hello, money question. Sorry, I'm just coming back, but I have a question.
Okay.
Okay. So, for example, now I want to cite an example out of what just happened now. I was on this meeting and my sister just called. She gets, you know, the thing is that there are some calls that they are inevitable. There are some calls that when you see, you will not want to ignore.
Yeah.
What do you do in situations like that? You know, the thing that sometimes I put my phone on do not disturb.
Yeah.
Until ìgbà tí Torí sì ti bẹ́ ìpè fún mi.
Okay.
Torí láyé mi. Kí wọ́n gbé fún sí do not disturb more.
Yeah.
Fine. If I put my phone on do not disturb, if I'm working on my laptop, because my network is connected to my WhatsApp, to my laptop, WhatsApp messages will always pop in. You'll be like, okay, fine, this thing. So, also, I still want to ask on. There's times that you'll be working and your mind will just cross to somebody, like probably someone, an old friend. You're like, I want to check up. Let me just say hi to this person. So you get, if it is just a call, let me put a call through to this person. What do you do in terms of, because notice me personally, I notice if I tell you I'll do something later, if I do that in that later, is grace.
Is that all your question?
Yes. For now, yes.
Okay. On my table where I work, apart from the laptop you will find there, other things you will find is always a pen and a jotter. If anything flashes my mind, I write it down. Some of them I may say I'll do it later. I never do it or never cross my mind. But one thing that has always been helpful is from time to time, I always come across almost anything I've written in my jotter, especially the ones on my table. I go through it and I know what to do, and at that point I do it. For calls that you don't want to avoid, you don't want to miss. Okay, before I go to those calls, when certain things come to your mind to do in the middle of something that you're doing, and it's something entirely different from what you are doing, the best you can do is to write it down. Because I've been in a situation where what I am doing, something happened in what I'm doing that uh, that suggests something about what I was doing or what I was going to be doing. For instance, let's say I'm writing a code, and in one line of code, maybe I just see one word or a sentence there, and suddenly it reminds me of something that I was doing before, maybe that I've not finished or that I'm still working on. I'll just write it down once and for all. Because that way, you can always come back to it and be able to execute. And the question that always comes to mind is, how important is what I'm doing presently? Remember I told you, if you are planning your day ahead and you are planning it either a day before or the morning of that day, the few things that will come to your mind that you're supposed to do, they are the things that are most important in your mind to what you are doing at that point in time. To the best of your knowledge, that's the most important thing. So every other thing popping up can always come back later if they are not directly related to what you are doing at that point in time. So it will be a distraction for you to now leave it and go and attend to that thing, except that thing is more important than what you are doing presently, and the reason you are unable to continue that thing is because of a solution that you are waiting for, which is now something that just popped up in your mind. And not only should that thing be important, it should only be something that you have to do urgently. So if it's not urgently important, that is important and urgent at the same time, you can note it down and then go back to it later. For the calls, it depends on who and why. Because if you're working with, let's say you are doing a remote job and you have your bosses around, I mean, who must reach you from time to time, irrespective of what you are doing, irrespective of do not disturb that you want to have in your life, you know that those people must be able to get through to you. Now, for your sister or even your pops, if it's not that the last time you spoke is 1 month, 2 months ago, there are times that you just have to call them back. It may not be sweet to the ears, but that's just what it is. Call them back. Now, let me tell you one thing I've discovered is people only call you at their own leisure, except when it's a critical situation. If you have not noticed that, just observe from now. People call you when they are probably done with what they are doing, when they are comfortable, when it is easy for them, when it is convenient for them. Except in certain situations where things seem to be really, really serious. Maybe somebody is dying, somebody is entering coma, somebody want to quickly borrow money from you. What again? Nobody really calls you on emergency, on what is important to you. Very, very rare occasion. Very rare occasion do people call you because of you. So when people call you most of the time, it's because of them. And when they call you, either because of them or because of you. Okay, because of them, they can leave any other thing they are doing because they need you to do something for them. But when it comes to you, most of the time they call you at their comfortable time. So it only makes sense that you weigh your options. Why am I calling this person? Why is this person calling me? So if you're doing something important, it only makes sense that you wait for some time, finish what you're doing, and call them back. They will call you twice maximum. When you miss it the first time, they will rest. If they have to call you the second time almost immediately, it's important to them. If they call you the third time immediately, then it's really, really important to them. So, and that one, very, really important to them. You do that to somebody really close to you, like you are in the same place that you know it might just be an emergency help that they need. And secondly is if it's your mom, your dad, or your sister, or your sibling. Let me put it that way. And immediately you call them and you ask them what happened. Once they are not dying and it's something you can attend to later, before you engage yourself in that conversation that take the whole of your time away, just tell them, okay, please let me call you back in the next few minutes. The bitter truth is always that to do what you have to do, you have to cut some people off. And when I say cut off, I don't mean blocking them. Of course, some people will require blocking, some people will require deleting their contact self. But at some point, even the closest person to you, you have to put them on a level where you call them back after you're done with what you are doing. That's just what it is. So you have to know that and know peace. Really, everybody always have an alternative for their solution. It's just the way it works. So when they call you El Shaddai, apart from the fact that you are going to die, they also have somebody else that they are hoping can do it for them. Now, I'm not saying you should not give them priority where it matters, but at every point in time, you should always come first. Because when you become big, you become great, you do that thing you want to do successfully, they will also benefit from it. And if your care for them now will stop you from achieving what you need to achieve, then eventually you all will remain at that same spot and position eventually. And that's something you won't want to happen. I hope that makes some sense.
Yes,
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I really grabbed some points from that. And also, I would like to add a little contribution to everything you said, because I don't know if you mentioned this or
ṣé
not.
ṣé ṣé ìwọ nìkan ló níṣòro ni.
Me, sure, I just want to make contribution. I like you share now.
Mo rò pé o tún fẹ́ béèrè question ni.
Okay, so I want to make a contribution in live with the time management stuff. I think what will really help in helping each and every one of us achieving our tasks is having someone we are accountable to. She gets like I just want to give this example. Yesterday, Glitters and I were still talking. Mo dẹ̀ ní mo ṣe sọ fún Glitters pé àti pé tí n bá ti rí kọ́ Davida without me calling Davida pé tí n bá rí kọ́ Davida ẹ̀rù máa ń bà mí láti gbé, because one of the questions I know you asked me that I've not seen your post on LinkedIn. The thing they always my heart they always palpitate tí n bá ti rí kọ́ Davida. I remember then also when I was still learning graphic design, when I was just learning it, if David is them to do something and I've not done it by that time that I told me to do it, if I should see score to pick, it's always like it's always something like difficult she gets, because it's scared that okay fine, this is why they're calling me, this is what they are. So I think all of us need just to have someone we're accountable for. It might not be per day, like this something okay that okay I plan to do this thing per week. This week I have this to do this week. Calls will just be like okay fine. How far have you achieved? What have you done long run? She gets. So I just think that would be also important.
Oh, yes, that's important. That's important. I have people that when I see their call too, I'm like, God, before answering the call, I first check everything we have discussed. Okay, I did it, I did it, I did it, I did it. Okay, okay. Then I will answer. Then there are some of them that, apart from them calling, even fear catches me to call them. Because when I call them, they give me more tasks to help me get better. And the task sometimes will be like, God, Shefe Pamini. So I think that's a good point. It's important. Well, that might not really be like you said, might not be every day, might not be every hour. I think it's important to have one or two people like that. One or